Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 62 of the beautiful Active Reload podcast.
Wow.
I sound great with a... By the way, I noticed last week something that really made me angry.
What?
From you.
From me?
Yeah.
What did I do?
You cut my poster jokes.
Yeah, I did.
So we're doing them again.
Okay, do it again.
No, I'm not doing it again.
I didn't cut them because I didn't like them or they weren't funny. I cut them because there was audio problems.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang it.
Not this week.
Action movie in the 90s with Samuel L. Jackson where he's a writer and he has to find the people that kill his family because he wrote a bad article about said person in prison, and it's called Right Justified.
Cool.
Like when you're typing. Get it?
He's a writer.
I don't remember the other one. Oh, I do remember, but it doesn't matter because you might cut it anyways. Who cares?
You got to get in there.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, he gets a bad illness, and but he was working for the CIA. He gets sick, he gets cancer or something, and then he has to go on and kill people that are bad people. It's called terminal killness.
Okay.
Terminal killness. Awesome.
You know what's really surprising? Arnold Schwarzenegger not really been in a good video game ever. Any of his characters, never in a good one.
Not any of his characters? Yeah.
There's been some good Terminator games, but not starring, Arnold Terminator.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Nothing.
And he's never come...
The Predator games?
Yeah.
Not very good.
All terrible. Remember they made that Predator 4v1 game recently?
Yeah.
What was it called? Predator...
I don't know.
4v1. That's what it was called.
Predator Evolve.
Yeah, something like that. Welcome to the show. Let's talk about... Space Marine 2.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about...
New Battlefield.
Battlefield, yeah. They got... IGN got an exclusive look at the new Battlefield. We'll talk about that. There were some screenshots that were shared with it or whatever,
too. It's just concept art.
Concept art, not screenshots.
Interesting, though.
So, yeah. Let's just get into it. How about that?
Boom.
How about this shadow show? Battlefield, ever heard of it? There's one everywhere. And guess what? There's going to be a new one coming soon.
The front lines are everywhere.
The front lines are everywhere. Oh, Frontlines Fuel of War. That game sucks. I'm sorry. I played that recently. Not very good.
This game's good.
It's okay. Battlefield, there's a new one. It's going to be coming soon. Nobody remembers 2042 or really plays 2042.
No, I did this week. Ask me how I felt about it.
How long did you last on the game?
A quarter of a match.
Yeah. That's about how long it takes for me, too. And then also in Battlefield, that's how long it takes for me to stay in there.
This is what happens when you play 2042. You log in, you're like, wow, this game is amazing looking.
Yeah.
You're like, who shot me? Why is that guy shooting me from way over there? And you take forever to respawn. Hold the button.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Okay, I'll hold this button. Jump in. Some guy does a zip line all across the city, then melees you in front of... You're next to 20 other people. Why does he choose me to melee me? Everything in that game is frustrating.
Do you remember...
Non-Battlefield-like.
Yeah, it also doesn't feel like it has a heart of a Battlefield game. Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't. Yeah, you're right.
It's weird. It just doesn't... It feels like something probably a Chinese company would make as a knockoff of Battlefield, which they did, but...
No, it feels like... No, you're right, but it feels like another game was developed, and they were like, let's just call it Battlefield. Let's make this Battlefield because we need a Battlefield game.
Yeah, it doesn't feel the same. Also, game makers, from here on out, first-person shooters, just put the campaign in there, man. You know how easy that is? Well, probably not easy.
It's not easy, but...
It's not easy, but... Just put it in there. I don't know why. It just there's so much less that's happening in those games, in my opinion, that matter to me if they don't have a campaign. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well...
It feels like less of a game.
We're talking about Battlefield here, so...
Yeah.
We can definitely bring that up. It started without campaigns.
Yeah, true. That's fair.
The first campaign was Bad Company.
Yeah, which is good.
Which is
so
great.
Bad Company 2.
I don't think they've ever gotten better than Bad Company 1 and 2 in terms of campaign. The campaigns was awful in 4.
4, yeah, it's not great.
And it was okay in 3. It was still fun.
3 is fun. I like 3.
The story was dumb.
It was kind of dumb. And the ending is really bad.
The entire time all you had to do was run to the subway.
Yeah. Get on the subway and then get to Times Square.
Right
and you stop
next
a nuke.
to you?
Yeah, that's it.
What were they interrogating him for?
I don't know. You're asking the right questions that I don't have answers for. Battlefield 1, very good campaign.
You think that was a good campaign?
I love the Battlefield 1 campaign.
I think they had
awesome.
They have the right idea with splitting it into small stories.
Yeah.
But it was still overly, like, I don't know, historic, but it wasn't. It was trying to be, but it wasn't even close.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's, yeah.
I know, it's Battlefield
World War One. It's hard to really make a, I'll be honest.
You can make a great one. I mean, we've seen movies, we've seen.
Oh, dang it.
1917.
Yeah, but that's different, though. Movies are easier to get you on board with.
It's still a narrative that you can tell in that area.
Right. I think they did the best they could with what they had.
No, Battlefield 5, the campaign, I thought was really bad.
Yeah, that one's terrible. But that's just because they're basically throwing you the, hey, this is what multiplayer's like. Yeah. Pick up this gun from the ground, and here's a med station.
The same idea with the vignettes and the small short stories.
It just doesn't work as well.
No.
And that's because I don't think
I love the tank level in Battlefield 1.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Or the whole tank story.
Yeah. The flying one's great, too. I like the flying ones. They're awesome. And then the Lawrence of Arabia ones, oh,
that one was bad.
I loved it.
It was all stealth.
Loved it.
Who wants to do stealth in their Battlefield game?
1. Well, you know what you could have as an alternative? You stand in a trench, and then you move about 20 centimeters for 2 hours, and then you go back.
You can make a narrative around that. It's just, you just make a narrative.
Even 1917 was like, yeah, this wouldn't be fun, so we have to make them run across most of the country.
Battlefield, so let's just talk about the announcement.
They're making a game.
They announced it today.
Vince Zampella, did a
write-up on it. Vince Zampella
of first-person shooters, in my opinion.
The guy who's brought back many franchises.
Yeah. He's the lead, right? The director. Yeah. Has he been the director?
I think he's a lead of DICE.
He used to be Respawn.
He is, yes. But he is even higher up on EA.
Yeah.
Outside of just Respawn director. So now he's in charge of Battlefield, which is great because
perfect person to do it.
And
yeah.
He is the perfect person for sure.
Oh man, can you imagine? It'd be so perfect
if they merged Titanfall and Battlefield.
Absolutely not. I don't want that. Just make Titanfall 3. What would be perfect is if Battlefield finally makes the game that can kind of eclipse Call of Duty, and it's Vince Zampella the one leading it, the guy that left.
Who left
Infinity Ward after? I mean, Modern Warfare 2. I think
he left Medal of Honor to do Call of Duty,
which killed Medal of Honor.
Then Call of Duty. Left Call of Duty to do Titanfall, which changed the entire Call of Duty forever. That's why we got those futuristic jetpacks.
The jetpacks and whatnot, yeah.
And then went from that...
to Battlefield.
No, to Star Wars.
Which oh yeah. Vince, I love you, man. You know what, Vince? I'd get an autograph. There's not many people in the gaming industry I'd probably get an autograph from. Vince Zampella would probably be up there.
Really? Yeah, I'd get it as an autograph.
Yeah, I would.
Because I probably send us one. He listens to us all the time.
Yeah, huge listener. Shout out VZ. That's what we call him in the industry. And
then his friend helped create Call of Duty.
That
was part of the lawsuit.
Burt Gloveland.
Okay, yeah, Burt Gloveland.
I don't know who he is. I made that name up.
Anyways.
But I don't think I've played any specific person's games more than Vince Zampella's in my lifetime.
Yeah. From
Medal of Honor to Call of Duty, the Call of Duty 4 all the way up through Modern Warfare 2 essentially, and then Battlefields obviously, and then Titanfalls as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
pretty good resume.
Yeah, that's a really good resume. And now with Battlefield, he could do it.
So he could do it. And now what I was going to say about it, DICE Motive, who does Star Wars and
they do. I thought they did a lot of cutscenes, but I don't know.
They did the Star Wars, the space only game, whatever that was called.
Oh yeah, man, I forgot about that game.
Ripple Effect and Criterion. Ripple Effect, I'm not sure, but Criterion, they are the Burnout guys.
Okay, question for you.
All 4 teams are involved in this game, by the way. So you can just tell right away that's campaign, that's multiplayer, and that's either a battle royale or extraction.
Yeah. Or that's how much it takes to make just one full game in general, because that's where we're at these days.
Yeah.
Criterion, are they the same company that does the movie collection? Are they all under one umbrella?
I don't know, actually. I don't think so.
What's going on? What's going on with Criterion?
I don't know.
They're like, we're going to make racing games and we're going to collect really old movies.
Well, Annapurna does movies and video games.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is funny because Annapurna, the publisher in news, all of their employees quit or resigned.
What?
Yeah.
What did they make?
Annapurna? Is it Annapurna?
Annapurna. I mean, it's one of the
their video game division no longer exists as a publisher.
What did they make recently, game wise? I'm trying to think, or I mean, movie wise too, because
I like the Edith Finch games.
Oh, that was Annapurna.
Yeah,
Annapurna, whatever. I didn't know that.
A couple other ones I always play. A lot of walking simulators. Go ahead,
Googling it.
But either way, I don't know why we're talking about Annapurna. Whatever.
They're in the game. No.
I think that this Battlefield needs to have a campaign, even though I wasn't a fan of the other ones. It just needs to have a campaign.
I think you need to have a campaign in almost all games in this world.
If this is going to be a $60 or $70 video game, you're going to...
Yeah. I mean,
I think
taking something out doesn't make any sense if you're still charging more
We just played Warhammer Space Marine 2, which had a great campaign.
So good.
And a great co-op experience.
Short,
and a great multiplayer.
Yeah, not very long. Like, you can stick a 7-hour campaign into your video game, and nobody will be angry at that.
Also, Battlefield, you don't need to make a 6-hour video game. Make a 2-hour video game. I'll be fine with that. Honestly,
2-hour campaign, yeah.
A 2-hour campaign that is very good and replayable, kind of like a good movie is rewatchable.
Lots of action sequences
fine with
and
that.
have fun.
As long as you hit the multiplayer at full force.
They did Stray, which I didn't realize.
Oh yeah, Stray. That was
dude.
Recent one.
The Lost Wild. I don't know what that is.
This is publishing though.
Yeah. We Kill Monsters. They were making a Blade Runner game, 2033 Labyrinth.
Oh really?
This is it looks like a Japanese game, possibly.
Whatever.
This makes me really sad if this is dying because I'd love a Blade Runner game. But here we are.
Yeah, it's called
Interactive.
Nobody Wants to Die. You never finished it.
Oh yeah, I know. I still got to finish it. It's on the backlog.
Is it good?
All right. The first couple hours are great.
Okay, that's good enough.
It's very much a game that feels like it's there to showcase Unreal Engine 5.
Okay,
like that style of game.
I got
like this is what we can create in the.
It's a game that Annapurna would publish.
Right. This is what we can do in the background. That sort of stuff.
Anyway, so Battlefield. What do you think they need to do?
I'm happy they went to Vince and they were like, "Fix us, please," because that's the right idea. That's the person you want. I mean, honestly, going back to the modern setting was a great idea, which is what they're doing. They announced.
The 2042 feels modern, anyways.
It feels modern, but it's lifeless.
Yeah,
I mean that's the problem. Nothing feels real in that game.
They did mention that they wanted to go back to basics, and who knows what that means.
Right, everybody says that.
I'm guessing class-based PvP.
Right. I'd be stunned if they did it the same way that they did 2042. My mind would be blown in confusion.
It also was really annoying that you're shooting yourself.
Everybody looked the same?
Everybody looked the same.
Yeah.
It was really bad.
Which, by the way, Irish from Battlefield 4 in that game as one of the characters that you can play as a multiplayer person. He's the black guy. It's bald.
The Irish. He's
one of the main characters in Battlefield 4.
Yeah.
But they don't talk about anything why he's in 2042.
I didn't even realize
it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Wow.
So yeah, I think returning to like something that kind of mirrors current events is a great idea. That's what's made COD 4 and like Modern Warfare 2 and the earlier Battlefield games. Like something that kind of stuck with people, I think, campaign wise anyways. Was because you could kind of mirror it to current events, and you're like, oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And also a smaller scale story where it isn't world ending or country ending or all that stuff, like Bad Company, where it's 4 dudes that were trying to get some gold and got stuck in some stories.
And a really cool, like prequel, first mission in Battlefield Bad Company 2, where they go to
World War II.
Japan, I guess, or an island off of the coast of Japan.
Some sort of super weapon.
And they have a super weapon, and it's awesome.
It is really
I gotta play Battlefield Bad Company 2 again. I like that game.
Yeah, it is really good. It's also one of those things that Battlefield used to do, which was make their campaign around the multiplayer maps. but you don't really notice it that much.
Yeah,
in Bad
it was
Company 2.
really noticeable in like Battlefield 5, but for whatever reason, they did it a lot better in 2.
Really noticeable in Battlefield 2, for God's sake.
Yeah.
When it came to consoles.
Yeah.
It was just, you were just playing multiplayer maps.
Lots of levolution, which is something else we need back.
You want destruction.
I want more destruction. That was the great thing. They were doing that on Battlefield Bad Company 2 on the 360.
Yeah, Battlefield 3, they did it a little bit too.
I know. And it's
not
like,
as much as
it doesn't make any sense
Bad
how
Company.
that could be like the thing that they could sell. Not like overwhelmingly annoying levolution, but remember in like Battlefield 4, it was the Shanghai mission where the center building collapsed after a certain amount of time or whatever, and then it made a whole different new playing area. And
it also crashed everybody's computer or Xbox.
But now we live in a new age, and they should be able to do that.
Yeah, where nothing like that ever happens. No bugs, no crashes.
I mean, they should totally be able to do that. I don't understand.
Games. Yeah,
it's annoying.
There's not much to go on, but it's exciting.
They announced it was happening, which everybody kind of knew was going to happen.
It was going to come out sometime.
Right.
I've also, I was playing Battlefield all week, all of them, and it was just funny that today on Monday, this news comes out. It's like the industry is in my head.
The industry.
I might be making the world up completely.
Wow.
You might not even exist.
It's very theological of you.
Theological?
Big braid. Yeah.
All right. Anyways, number 2.
Let's move on. Go ahead.
I have a great question for James.
Okay.
Hey, James.
Mm-hmm.
Would you buy a new Nintendo Switch?
I own one. Next question.
No, a new one. A new one.
The handheld only one? Is that
like a Nintendo Switch Part 2?
No.
Why
Probably not? The games that they offer as their primary source of ideas in which to buy the Nintendo Switch, so the Marios, the Zeldas.
It's not for you.
Not for me. It's never really been for me.
You are not the target audience anymore.
We were talking about last week? Platformers? Yes. Never really been my thing. And that's basically all Mario anyways.
And Mario
Zelda,
Kart.
Yeah, and Mario Kart, which is the worst. But I respect people that like Switch. I respect people that like the Mario game. I respect people that like... I can appreciate how important Breath of the Wild was because it is somehow a game that works very well on the Nintendo Switch. You can climb into anything. I don't understand.
Somehow grabs the attention of players.
And I mean, it does. And I will say, like the... are they called dungeons in that game?
Yeah,
like the puzzle dungeons.
Yeah,
those are a lot of fun. It's just everything else around that game is not entirely for me.
That's funny that I brought this up. I know you have a Switch.
I do,
and I know that you would be the best person to ask for a Switch Part 2 or a Switch 2, whatever they're going to call it. I don't think they're going to call it Switch 2.
That would be funny.
Because pricing is coming up in these new consoles, including the PS5 Pro, $700. And I knew that you probably wouldn't want to get a new Switch because you have an old one, you weren't satisfied with it.
Right. It's just not my... I think it's a cool system.
Me, on the other hand, I didn't get a Switch, and I would definitely get a Switch 2.
Switch Pro?
No, it wouldn't be a Pro.
A Pro Switch?
They already kind of have a Pro. They have an OLED model.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
$100 more,
That's right. I would get one without the dock, personally.
Yeah, me either.
Like, I just want the handheld.
There's no way in hell I would put this up to my TV.
Right, I never do that. I never did that when I have my Switch now. I've never connected it to my TV.
Apparently, it makes games run better.
But still, like the selling point for me for the Switch is the handheld.
Yeah,
like that's the entire point I would want to use it for.
You don't want to play Witcher?
No, I wouldn't play Witcher on the Switch. First off, period.
And like, what is it? I think it's in 580p.
Absolutely not. If there's anybody out there that's playing that game on the Switch, stop it. Okay?
Yeah, you can get a PS4 for very cheap.
Right. Or if you're looking for handheld, just get a Steam Deck or something.
Yeah, that'll run it pretty well. No,
Are you being sarcastic? Because I actually have no idea.
No, Steam Deck will run Witcher pretty well. A lot better than Switch, for sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So look at my phone.
So I would buy Switch 2. Now, what would be my limit in terms of money? $400 is basically... $400 would be the most I would ever pay for a Nintendo console.
What was the Switch originally? It was $300, right? I think.
I don't know. I think so. Yeah.
I think it was $300.
Yeah. It was under $400.
Yeah. Something I didn't realize, I don't understand from Nintendo is when they do these versions, if they do a Switch 2, sell the dock version, obviously, which will probably be the first version they come out with, but also sell only the handheld for $50 less, and you will make a killing. $350 for the non-dock or the dockless version, $400 for the dockable version. You're going to make a killing either way because it's Nintendo, and they somehow are just operating at no cost of their own.
What's really funny for me is that the joysticks are terrible.
Yeah, they really are. I hate them.
And it's funny because Nintendo makes amazing joysticks.
Yeah.
So
they also have
joysticks practically.
They're known for having like really bad stick drag on those things, which is interesting.
Which is the worst.
Yeah.
That usually is just a scuff issue.
Yeah. Which is funny because I don't think I've ever
email me.
I don't think I've ever had. I'm not even going to say what I was about to say because I'm going to jinx it.
Okay.
I've never had stick drag on any of my controllers of any that I've used.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. There's a table in front of us. So I've never had it.
I've had it. Ever. I've had it with It takes a long time, but I've had it with official Xbox and PlayStation controllers. But most modern games, they allow you to adjust the threshold. Of the
that's a big help.
Controllers.
Yeah,
so that helps. But I mean, I have some PS2 controllers that are in better shape than my Xbox Series X controller.
Mm-hmm. I'm probably
which is crazy.
PS2, yeah.
You would think they would be the opposite because I treated those PlayStation 2 controllers terribly
like
for
garbage.
2 decades.
You were eating pizza and then just rubbing all the grease all over top of it. Disgusting.
$400 would be my limit. And
what would you buy first with it? Like first game.
So this great segue into this.
Yeah.
What would Nintendo have to do to grab the core audience of console gamers, which is me
and
James? And that would be I would have to you give me a new Metroid. I need a new Metroid.
Okay.
Or I need a new modern-esque Zelda game. A brand new Zelda game. Don't give me Breath of the Wild, 2.7.
Remastered for the Nintendo Switch Pro.
You're going to have to give me Metroid. First-person shooter Metroid.
What would mine be? That's a tough question. Mine would probably be. I'm kind of a Smash Brothers fan.
Yeah.
So if they did a new Smash
Bros.
Fighting
game?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I like Smash Bros.
Okay.
If they did a Smash Bros. One, that would if they made a new Smash Bros. That would run really well on the Pro 2 or the Nintendo Switch Pro, whatever they were going to call it. That would entice me a little bit. The number one thing for me would be a sports game from Nintendo that similar in style to something like Wii Sports.
Okay.
With the Joy-Cons.
I got you.
Because they have the motion controls in the Joy-Cons.
Motion controls.
Because you can play what's the game that they, like the party game that everybody has?
Mario Party?
You know what I'm talking about? No, there's another one that came out with the Switch and was like the thing that they wanted you to buy in order to show off the abilities for the Joy-Con. Give me something like that, and then Wii Sports 2, I would be all over it.
Wow. This was for the core audience, so the core gamers, and you went with extremely
casual
games.
Nope. Yes, but nobody. There's like top 5 selling game of all time is Wii Sports.
Yeah, I get it. And Smash Brothers. I don't know if Smash Brothers is that casual. It's a fighting game.
It's a fighting game. Everybody loves Smash Bros. Though.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. I'm not a huge fan, but whatever.
I like Smash Bros. Because of how different everybody feels.
I'd also like to see a better online component with.
Oh man.
With everything.
Yes.
And I want to see better third-party games.
Yeah.
Not just, half of The Witcher 3.
Right.
Or gimped versions. I mean, like actual third-party support. So if Ubisoft wanted to make a Star Wars game, they make a Wii, or not a Wii. They make a Switch 2 Star Wars game. Not,
comes later and it's trimmed down like crazy. Yeah.
I don't want any of that. If I see any of that, I'm out.
They should just make exclusive stuff for the Switch. Like a different game that comes out Star Wars version.
And you also don't need to make a big game. If you want to test your new way forward in terms of game design where you don't spend $5 billion and you want to spend just a couple million, but it's, a smaller game, release it on the Switch, but make it original and new and not a gimped version. There's your test audience. It's not like Nintendo owners don't have an extreme attachment rate to the software or to the games. They do. They buy everything.
They buy literally everything. So they buy cardboard and they build it, and then they could use it for their Joy-Cons and they could become a robot. That's something they sold, and it sold well.
Ow, I think I hurt my tooth by drinking.
So you gotta stop drinking. What What was I going to say, though?
I don't know.
Jim, by the way, that's what I was going to say. Nintendo, they operate out of the most robust internet place on planet Earth in Japan, but they still operate in terms of internet like we're doing dial-up.
Yeah.
It's so confusing. There's not a better place on planet Earth to go and get internet access than Japan, maybe South Korea. But for whatever reason, Nintendo's like, we'll give you a code, and you got to type in this code in order to join your friend's party. And then, in order to join their party and their match, you got to type in another code. And that's how we made Super Mario. What was the Mario Creator mode game?
Yeah, Mario Maker.
Super Mario Maker. That's how we're going to do Super Mario Maker.
Yeah. You didn't like that?
No, it doesn't make any sense. It's stupid.
I like that. Yeah, so that's a Nintendo. I don't know. I would buy the Switch if they make great games.
They do.
It feels good because we're going to talk about Space Marine in a second. Mm-hmm. It feels good to be the target audience again. Yeah, like, hey, this is a game for people who like to shoot stuff.
Yeah, that's about it.
Like I like that, so this game's great for me. Nintendo, they don't consider me a part of their target audience, so
yeah, that's fair. I don't, but that's the thing.
But they don't care.
I was going to say they don't need to. They're just like, we'll get the kids,
which is respectable. So I'm not offended by it. I don't care. I also don't care if I'm not the target audience of an Xbox game. I don't care. It's just Nintendo doesn't offer me what I want.
Yeah, and they don't need to. They'll be like. And then Sega tried to do it. They gave Shadow a gun, and everybody, it's the coolest game. And
if
then it was
Valorant
terrible.
Came to Switch too, which it would be able to run on the Switch,
it'd be awful. That game would be terrible on a Switch. No
as long
offense.
as it's only played with other Switch users.
I still don't think that game would be very good.
Why? It's a
because
game.
It just doesn't. It's not made for that environment.
No,
yeah,
you're right.
It'd just be awful.
Whatever.
I would hate
just
that.
Bring Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike. It could actually probably run on the Switch if they wanted to.
Yeah, it could. Yeah. So the next item I was going to bring up, we can just talk about this really quick.
Yeah.
The Madden Curse is back.
Yep. It is back, unfortunately, in full force.
Christian McCaffrey was on the cover this year. He's injured.
Yep, he got hurt.
I had first round draft pick in my fantasy league, and I didn't choose him because he was on the cover, and I knew that there was going to be a curse.
That was your...
Yeah. That's why I didn't get him.
Your draft preparation.
I knew that he was going to get injured, and guess what happened?
He's got Achilles tendonitis, which is not a good thing.
Yeah, good luck coming back with that from an undersized running back.
Yeah,
very difficult. Push through a pile with that injury.
Not fun.
Yeah, so I wrote down, or I printed out a bunch of curses. You want to hear all these curses?
Yes.
Curses are, I don't believe in curses, but...
Except for the Madden one. It's very real. So
it
don't
goes
go
back
on the cover.
All the way to 2001. I'm just going to name off the cover athletes that have a curse. Some of them don't. Tennessee Titans, Eddie George, 2001. Cursed. Minnesota.
What happened to him?
Oh, it said he had career high fumbles, coughed up the ball in the Titans season-ending playoff game.
Oh, yeah.
Never averaged more than 3.4 yards per carry for the rest of his career. It was the end of his career. Was that cover? I don't want to go into detail of all of these.
That's a weird
trust
pick.
me that this was.
I'll guess them.
Dante Culpepper, 2002.
Old. Is that old? Was he old back then? I don't know.
Yeah, he was old back then.
He was pretty old. Yeah. Dante Culpepper was getting up there.
Marshall Falk, Rams. Marshall Falk.
Old.
He never. He went 1,300 yard campaigns in 2002. He broke down, missing almost half a dozen starts. He never topped 1,000 yards ever again. All these, if you're on the cover, that's the end of your career.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown. Wait.
Antonio Brown,
Sorry. Went all the way there.
Big time curse
2004, Michael Vick. This is kind of when people noticed the curse, was Michael Vick. He got injured for the rest of the season.
That was the best player.
He went to jail. Sorry.
Yeah, that was the best player on their team, too.
Yeah, went to jail because he was fighting dogs. Idiot. Baltimore Ravens. 2005, Ray Lewis, my favorite football player of all time. Guess what? No curse whatsoever because that guy is impenetrable.
Yep. Known to be a very good person.
Donovan McNabb, cursed. Sean Alexander, cursed. Vince Young, Titans QB.
Bust.
Big time curse. He had a great rookie year.
Busted.
Then got onto the cover. End of his career.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Brett Favre, 2009. Injured for most of the season. Cursed.
Then left the Packers, went to the Vikings.
Here, this is a half curse. 2010
For the Jets.
Larry Fitzgerald from the Cardinals
And Troy Polamalu.
Yep. Larry Fitz was fine. Polamalu injured for the
That was
rest of the season.
Super Bowl that season. Or the year before, I guess.
He was gone for 11 games. MCL injury.
They can only take one. If
New
you
Orleans
offer two,
Saints,
they'll take
Drew
one.
Brees.
Yeah. 2012?
Oh, in 2011, so it would have been 2010 season.
Okay.
He
Won
lost
the Super Bowl.
a lot. Wasn't quite cursed. He went 7-9.
Yeah. That's that's kind of a curse.
Threw a lot of interceptions. Career high interceptions.
They're coming off a Super Bowl season.
Franchise high interceptions too in the Saints.
Kind of a curse.
All right. Cleveland Browns, my favorite cover athlete ever in 2012, Peyton Hillis.
Peyton Hillis, yeah. Jesus. Vanished off the earth. Nobody's seen him since.
He had a half a dozen injuries.
Yeah.
Never saw him ever again.
He's gone. Google him. See if you can find him for us.
2013, Calvin Johnson, the Lions, wide receiver. Not
retired
cursed.
early.
No, not cursed.
But retired early.
Yeah.
Not long after that.
He had a great season that year.
Hall of Famer, too.
2014, Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Child abuse charges.
He also got hurt, but yes, too.
But he still had a good season.
Still got hurt, too, though.
Yeah, but this website considers it a half curse. All right, Richard Sherman.
Half curse.
Richard Sherman, Seahawks cornerback. Not cursed because he was a defender.
No, it started to fall apart here, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, this is when it started to go away.
It started to go away.
Went like 10 to 12 years of curses, 13 years of curses, and now no curse. Odell Beckham Jr. in 2016, not curse at all. 2017, Rob Gronkowski. Curse.
He was cursed.
He had a herniated disc.
He got hurt, yeah.
But he did finish the season.
Which is insane. Herniated disc, and you were playing football? Jesus.
And then 2018, Patriots, Tom Brady, not cursed.
Not cursed, won the Super Bowl. And then the year after was Patrick Mahomes.
No, the year after that was Antonio Brown.
Cursed.
Very bad curse.
Was it that year, though, that he got cursed?
It was a flurry of on and off the field controversies, and he...
I can't remember. Was that the year he went to the Raiders?
He was traded to the Raiders.
Yeah. Okay. So that was the start of the beginning of the end.
And
for
then
OLAB.
No curses here. Patrick Mahomes, no curse.
Nope. Good.
Lamar Jackson, 2021, no curse. Outside of the,
he may have gotten hurt one of those years.
He's always playing injured. This guy's amazing. I love that guy. Then 2022, Tom Brady from the Buccaneers.
Goat. Right.
Not cursed.
Won the Super Bowl.
And then 23 was John Madden himself. Obviously not cursed.
Cursed. He died.
He died before.
Oh,
it was just
okay. Sorry.
a tribute. And then
ultimate curse.
Then last year, sorry, this is going on forever, but last year, Josh Allen, definitely not cursed. He had a great season. This year, Christian McCaffrey.
It's back.
Oh, curse. There you go, Garrett.
It's back.
Curse. I did not draft that guy on purpose.
Back. They're back.
And guess who was my number one draft pick? It was, we're talking about, this is a video game podcast.
Yeah, who was your number one draft pick, though, actually?
Not a great pick, but what's his name? The receiver.
I don't know.
Dolphins.
Oh, Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, it hasn't done great.
Yeah. 2 tough games. He got pulled over by the cops in the first game and still had a $130 and a touchdown.
Yeah. That's right.
That's a pretty good week.
That's awesome.
All
right.
Yeah, Madden Curse is coming back, but it took a couple years
off.
The
Madden Curse is really stuck itself in video game culture. So this is a video game podcast, and we do like sports, but the Madden Curse is specifically catered to video gamers.
One of my favorite things about the Madden cover is one of the worst. Their covers have progressively gotten worse year after year after year.
Do you remember when it was like blocky?
Art?
What?
I remember when it was artful. The Troy Polamalu, Larry Fitzgerald one is awesome.
Yeah, that was
It looks
good.
so cool.
They look
so
goofy.
does the Drew Brees one. It looks amazing. But the past few years, it's been terrible. Just awful.
Peyton Hillis one where they have him like, it was the Battlefield cover where they're where disintegrating.
But he's running towards the camera.
Yes, and half of it's kind of disintegrating.
Which is funny because that is what ended up happening to him.
Yeah.
Leftover style.
That was actually a cover where the audience voted.
They voted Peyton Hillis?
I voted for Peyton
They voted
Hillis.
for the curse.
It was almost a troll.
Wow, it was like, hey, here's our sacrifice.
Yeah. Jeez, man. That's getting kind of dark now.
But also, one of my favorite things about one of those covers is Richard Sherman's cover. If you look at it,
he's going like this.
It also doesn't make any sense on where he's lined up on the field.
Yeah.
It makes zero sense. He's lined up
because the guy who put it
facing
together,
the middle of the field.
The guy who put it together in Photoshop is
probably
an
has
artist
no idea.
and he's never seen a football game in his life.
But everybody else should have been like, that doesn't make any sense. Why is he next to the sideline?
Yeah.
That's illegal. That's illegal touching.
So bringing back old Maddens and old football games in general, they used to do live action intros. Do you remember that? With like a song or some popular song, and they would show big hits and big plays and stuff like that. They do not do that anymore.
They did that a little bit with they brought it back kind of with college football. EA Sports College Football. There's not big hits or anything, but it's like people in the stands and they're saying EA Sports, it's in the game.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Which I like.
Actually pretty cool.
That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, and it changes.
Every time you open the game, it's a new one.
Cool. All right.
Moving on.
Notable games releasing this week. There's not much because we're recording on a Monday and we recorded last time on a Thursday.
We'll be back on Monday next week because we have to do Mondays.
Guess what's coming out on PS4 and Xbox One this week?
Is it a new game?
It is Jedi Survivor.
Oh, it's an old game.
Why the heck?
This is what you get. You get our leftovers. You still got it.
A year later? Over a year?
I would say a year and a half because it came out in March of that year, which was last year. So like a year and a half later.
Well,
congrats, guys. I hope you enjoy it. It's a great game. Love Jedi Survivor. It's
not
awesome.
a good game.
It's awesome. It's really good. You get to ride on the back of one of the little rooster guys. You're going around. They look like the things from Final Fantasy that I can't remember the name of.
It has, Chocobo.
Yeah, it looks like a Chocobo. You get to ride on the back.
That's cool that you remember that.
Yeah.
I love me some Final Fantasy, and this guy just warmed my heart.
The Chocobos.
Chocobos, little cute guys.
Terrible name.
And then in Final Fantasy Tactics, and the Evalis world of Final Fantasy, like the online and 12.
You just did that, and I'm going,
I know. Their Chocobos are like war-torn battle.
War-torn Chocobos?
Yeah. It's cool.
Dude,
they're not so cute. They're like used as cavalry.
That sounds very Warhammer.
Yeah, it is. Kind of.
Awesome.
But with fantasy.
What if they did Final Fantasy Warhammer combination? Awesome. They
did a Total War Warhammer, which
that makes sense.
Yeah, it does,
because that's basically just what Warhammer is Total War.
Yeah, Total War from the Total War is the Sega franchise, the PC games they make like.
And then afterwards,
Total War Rome, Shogun.
Sega approached Warhammer afterwards, like, "Wow, this was awesome! It really worked out for us. It was a perfect combination. Let's put Sonic in Warhammer." And then Warhammer shut the door.
They didn't do that, did they?
No, of course not. God, the Hedgehog, are you crazy?
That'd be hilarious if you can like call upon your Sonic characters and they just turn into a ball and knock
then the
everybody
next one,
over.
They're like, I call in Crazy Taxi.
Oh, man.
I love Sega, man.
So I don't know why it's coming out. I guess PS4 is still getting games.
Yeah, remember they carried their half of the shareholder or half of the console group is PS4, Xbox One. So there, have our leftovers.
I don't know why they shouldn't be counted.
Yeah.
All right, and then another remaster, Dead Rising remaster. It's kind of in between a remaster and a remake. It's called the Deluxe Remaster.
Oh God, I hate. Can we get better remaster names?
I know. There's a lot more than just up-resing the textures and everything in this game and color. There's gameplay adjustments and stuff.
What's the name of the guy in this game? The main character?
I can't remember it either. He's a great character, though.
He's got the craziest butt chin you'll ever see. Cleft chin?
Yeah.
It's insane. Like, it looks like he's got two chins and they're growing out of one hole.
It's not very often that you play as a press guy taking pictures.
That's true. That's his job. Yeah, he's doing an investigative journalism story while killing a whole bunch of zombies and really people. Cool. But investigative
that game
journalism
definitely changed the landscape of
zombie games.
That's when they introduced like adding, weapons, crafting weapons and stuff that you find on
that game is great, man. I love Dead Rising.
There is a time limit in that game that annoys the piss out of me.
Wait, I thought that was the second one. The second one is the one where you have your daughter who's sick. Oh no, wait.
No, it's the
You're
first
right
one.
because it's when the helicopter's coming.
Yes, when the helicopter comes.
Yeah. But I think they also have the same thing in the second one, and they justify it because your daughter's sick, and you have to get her the Zombrex. That's what it's called. You have to get her the Zombrex before she turns into a zombie. So every time you have to come back to the stupid main base and give your daughter Zombrex.
Time limits in video games give me anxiety. It all stems from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on Nintendo, where you're in the underwater dam level, where you have to disarm the bombs. You have a time limit, and you can barely make it every single time. Even if you're really good at it, you're barely making it. And Earthworm Jim, those games made me have
Earthworm
anxiety.
Jim makes me want to throw up every time I see it.
I know you've said that before.
Have I said that
makes
before?
Makes me want to throw up when you say that because it's a great
Sorry.
game. And that's all that's coming this week, by the way.
Shout out to Star Wars Jedi Survivor and everybody who's been asking for it on the Xbox One. 1, you're insane. 2, you should have just gotten the note, all right? You should just bought. Is there anybody that's out there that wants to play Jedi Survivor that bad?
Is there anybody out there who really wants a new console but hasn't been able to save?
Yeah, that's a good point. It's been out for
$5 a month
time.
for 5 years?
Yeah. If you had $5 a month for 5 years, how much would the 12 times... Well, how many 12 times 5 is 60, so 60 times 5.
Yes. It's 300 and 3,000. I don't know.
Hey, Siri?
33,000.
I'm going to look at... this is... Hey,
don't ask me to do math.
Welcome to Math with James. There's my Siri. Just talking. Sorry, Siri.
Well, you said hi.
I know. I apologize, Siri. You're a good person.
You're going to look up a math question?
60 times 5. It'll be $300. So you'd still be about $300 short, but if you save $10, you'd have it. But you still got to pay tax. So
dude, like $10 a month.
Do $15.
Whatever. Don't buy cigarettes or something.
I can't.
I'm talking adults here.
I'm just kidding. I have to.
All right. Now we're on to what we're playing, and we have a lot of games that we're playing.
Oh,
James,
man, are we?
Go first?
I want to go first. You go first most of the time. I want to go first this time. Number 1 on the game I've been playing this week, Space Marine 2. It's awesome, man.
Very
it's
good.
So cool. I've gotten into my Warhammer lore now, too, because of it. I'll never get the models. I've said that numerous times.
Oh, I want the models, dude. I want to paint them.
Absolutely not.
Only Henry Cavill can
make that cool.
Afford all those.
Or make it look cool. Henry Cavill's the only one.
I can make it look cool.
No, you can't. I'm sorry. I apologize to everybody that's ever owned Warhammer or any Warhammer models. You can't tell me that your hobby is to go into a store, buy models that are unpainted for $45, and you paint them for fun, and me think you're cool. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. The only person that can do it is Henry Cavill because he played Superman, and that's about it. That's the only reason.
Only because he played Superman.
All because he played Superman, and he's jacked out of his mind.
I love
he can bench press me and you together. That's it.
How the internet world of nerds, I guess, have just taken Henry Cavill and just lifted him up.
I mean, he did it himself.
I know, but if you search for lore in Warhammer, which a lot of people are doing right now,
yeah, it's true.
Because
hotter
this
than
game
ever.
Is great, and it's hard to understand if you don't know what the heck's going on.
Really hard to understand.
Henry Cavill shows up in your YouTube feed for sure, talking about it.
Yeah, I got a short the other day of Henry Cavill talking about his favorite faction to run in Warhammer.
Yeah, he's involved in a new movie / TV show that's coming out,
which could be cool
sometime in the future. It would be great, man, if they do it right. And he does mention, he's there to make him do it right.
Right. He said that about The Witcher 2, though, and Witcher's not great. So
I thought the first season was good.
I didn't think any of it was very good, but I'm not a huge Witcher guy either, so whatever.
I am. I'm a huge Witcher fan, and
you know what? Fair enough.
Although I think he's a good actor, I
think he's
you need someone more to come off less nice, more neutral. He's Witcher is a ladies' man for sure, and a mutant with no feelings, and he doesn't come across as someone with no feelings.
He's a good actor at like one specific type of acting. He's the big guy in Mission Impossible.
He's the charming guy that can beat you up.
Right. He's the big guy that's charming and is kind of funny. He does that in Mission Impossible. He does that in Superman. He does that in Man from U.N.C.L.E. Like, that's what he is.
He'd make a great King Arthur.
That's a good shout, too. And he's English.
Yeah.
Oh, he should be King Arthur.
So that's about it.
Some people said James Bond, and I was like, he's too jacked to be James Bond. He doesn't fit as a spy. He looks like somebody that's there to... He'd be one of the security guards in the background of, like, the villain.
Maybe if you just stop taking steroids.
Well, don't do that, because you look awesome.
Yeah, sure.
You look awesome. Henry, call me, because you're a cool guy.
Listening.
Henry, Mr. Cavill, you know my cousin. Name's Maddie. You met her before.
Really?
They worked on Batman versus Superman together.
Okay.
Call me, cool guy, and I'll play. You could teach me Warhammer, Henry, and I will listen to every second of it.
I thought you were going to mention something about horses, because there is a Hollywood connection here in Sheridan, Wyoming, and it has a lot to do with horses and horse riding.
Yeah, that's actually true. So Space Marine, very cool, very fun. Can
I talk about it too?
If you want a game to play with your friends, that is a campaign shooter and a co-op outside of a campaign shooter, where you can go on like operations and stuff, and the operations get really hard. We beat the campaign on Angel of Death, which is the hardest difficulty, and it was hard at times, but the operations, even on like the second to highest difficulty, are really hard. So it gets progressively harder once you actually beat the game. It's a blast. I love it. I love every second of Space Marine 2. It's awesome. It's really cool. The last mission's really long, but deservedly so.
I thought the ending to the game was great.
It's awesome. Great final boss fight.
Yeah.
Even though
I
didn't know who he was fighting, I kind of picked up on what he was like through the side dialogue as he was fighting you, or like what he was like, why he was angry. But for the most part, I was like, hey, Primarch tells me to kill this guy, I'll kill him. I mean, that's what I do.
This game was great, man. Definitely one of my games of the year for sure.
Yeah, same.
I mean, full package, probably not a $1 billion game.
No,
it has probably already earned its money back.
I will say they probably don't. They have more eyes on them than they've probably ever had. Warhammer in general.
So congratulations to Saber Interactive, probably their biggest hit ever.
Yeah, great job. And honestly, I was a little nervous when they first announced this, even though I wasn't paying attention to it too much. I guess when the first trailer dropped and it was the people that were doing World War Z, I was like, I don't know if I love that because I didn't love World War Z. But they nailed this. Like, they nailed it. And the feeling of like being overrun, but still having a chance works incredibly well in this game.
I always thought Saber Interactive was a Russian or at least an Eastern European development crew, because it seems like they are, with especially back in the day with innovative games but were just glitchy and stuff. But it actually wasn't. It's an American company. They just hired a bunch of really talented people who happened to live in Russia when they started. So that's how it left the Russia like impression on me. But this game's great, man. Make another one. Move on.
Yeah, Space Marine 3.
Do it. Like, start firing it up. Actually make a couple more operations.
Yeah, that's true. Put more in there.
And a couple more PvP maps or modes or something. Just spend maybe, I don't know, 8 more months on this game, then move on to 3. Man, what a great little
double
formula they got here.
Yeah. A perfect double A.
I would love to play in another Titus game.
Yeah, it's a perfect double A co-op, or a double A campaign co-op multiplayer shooter for this generation. It's awesome. It's good. I don't know how long like the tail of this is going to last, but it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't need to.
But they're not selling anything else in the actual game. They got all the money or whatever they needed, assumingly, from the selling of the game, because they're not selling anything else in. I don't think they have like an in-game store or anything. So, yeah, it's awesome. It's a great game. I loved every second of it.
What else are you playing?
What I'm playing. A game that also has no microtransactions. What? A game that is truly just there for you to be there and enjoy it and have a good time.
Wow,
and
what
also
a concept.
Really hate it because it's annoying and it's hard.
What is it?
And you're running into things that you didn't realize were there. Star Trucker.
Star Trucker!
I mean, let me tell you. Have you ever thought to yourself, man, I'd love to be a trucker, but not on land. In space. Then do I have the game for you. It's called Star Trucker. Is it the greatest game on planet Earth? Absolutely not. Is it a game that you could sit down and just pass time with because you'll be doing something over and over and over again, but the loop is still kind of there? Yes, it is one of those games. It is a fun game. I will say, funny enough...
Is it as sim as it like sounds or is portrayed, or is it a little bit more... I mean, I don't know how sim you can get in.
I'm thinking like, because I'm on the difficulty they recommend.
Yeah.
And like, I'm struggling. So the harder difficulty.
There's a lot of When I say sim, I mean like there's a lot of mechanics to do.
Yes.
Little things.
I would imagine it gets harder the more mechanical stuff you throw in there. Okay. And I'm just playing on the middle difficulty, which is like, pay attention to the debris because you can get a hull breach and you have to go and repair it. Pay attention to your battery usage, or you will asphyxiate and die in a truck. For some reason, they decided a truck was the best way to ship things in outer space.
Can I tell you what my favorite thing about this game is? At least the trailer.
Yeah.
The fact that they're semi-trucks in outer space.
They don't make any sense.
They don't look like spaceship trucks.
They look like trucks. They even have the exhaust pipes. It doesn't make any sense. There's no exhaust coming from this. It doesn't make any sense.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's funny. It's a good joke. They also have like a radio station you can turn on in the game.
Really?
It's actually not bad.
Oh, good.
It's like a bunch of like, I think it's either made for the game or royalty-free music.
Is there a CB radio like?
Yes. Yeah, okay. You can pick it up, and whenever somebody calls you pick it up, you go, Roger, I'm 1029 on the way back to station. and then put it back up.
Do you go in our solar system, or is it completely fictional?
I think it's fictional. It's almost entirely fictional. But it's cool. I liked it. I like it so far. There's like story mission types just to kind of guide you along to get the idea of what you're doing. And then they kind of take their hands off and they're like, go nuts.
That's funny because I'm playing Expedition,
another trucking game. Yeah. I don't know why. By the way, I have no idea why it caught my eye, but I was like, I'll play this. I've never played a trucking sim or a cab sim,
Odin
anything like that.
Eyeballing this for a while.
You should get it, but play it on an easier difficulty because it does get. I've died multiple times. I'm $5,000 in debt in this stupid game because I keep dying and getting medical expenses, and then also damaging like crates and whatnot, and that makes you go into debt. I want to start over.
What else are you playing?
2K, still playing some 2K, still pretty fun. I'm having a good time. Kind of just like a shut your mind off. Like if I gotta watching football or something, I'll put 2K on as well.
When you play NBA 2K, do you just play like almost like a pickup asphalt game?
My career.
Or do you do, in terms of when you're playing, do you call plays? Do you run plays, I should say?
No. I'm a my career guy. I think honestly the 2K basketball in general for me kind of has like the worst franchise mode for me. I don't love the franchise modes in 2K or basketball games in general. But I like the my career that 2K does. I think they do a pretty good job at it, just in terms of like your character going from basketball game and then sometimes the story around it and whatnot. And then everything you can kind of customize on your character. It's pretty good, and then just playing like the regular season games and that are kind of fun, just an easy shut your mind off and just do it. And then like some of the multiplayer stuff is kind of fun. I enjoy playing the Rec. I think that's pretty fun. So yeah, I've been playing that. It's been fun. It's been pretty fun. And then Chaos Theory serial. I'm still going back and forth from that Chaos Theory. Haven't beaten it yet, but getting there.
Michael Ironsides.
That's what I've been playing.
Dude, let me tell you what I'm playing.
What you playing? Hey,
okay,
Grant,
as soon
what you
as
playing?
Space Marine 2 campaign was over, I fired up Gears of War Ultimate Edition, which is, I forgot how buggy that game is. Way more buggier than the original 360 version. This is like the remaster version. I somehow beat this game on hardcore. I think it's called hardcore. That's the second lowest.
Yeah.
I don't know how I did because I'm at the Berserker level in the beginning of the game where you have to lure a berserker, big bad guy,
with your noises,
through walls, but I can't move on because Dom keeps getting killed, my AI partner.
Shout out Dom.
And it restarts whenever he gets killed, and it's just stuck where he just gets killed right away.
I can't, dude, playing that game solo, I've never. No, thank you. Sorry, buddy.
I could have loaded up Act 2, but I don't know.
Yeah, give up. Let the Berserker beat you.
That game's really fun. I love Gears of War. It's great. Gears of War, I can't wait till the new one.
They do a weird thing in the Gears games where they somehow turn like dark and dreary into a somewhat appeasable art style.
It's a very comic booky, fun, almost buddy cop feeling to it. It's cool. I like it.
And like in terms of, funny enough, the art style in that game would actually work very well for Space Marine and Warhammer. Yeah. Like I could see those two worlds together and it would make sense.
That would be pretty cool. So
the Gears as like a faction. Just thought of that.
Baird is annoying, but he's like, I like that he's annoying.
He's the annoying funny guy.
Yeah. Like, dude, shut up, Baird.
And he's got goggles he never puts on.
I love that the more you play Gears of War, the franchise, the more you pick up on small things regarding the characters. I forgot that Marcus Phoenix and Anya have a thing, or they used to have a thing.
They have child.
Yes, they do. You don't find out until way later.
Yeah.
In the 4, Gears of War 4.
That's the...
But you don't know until... Mm-hmm. So when I was playing Gears of War, as soon as Anya shows up, she's the girl who basically...
She's the girl. That's all you need to say.
She's like headquarters that you talk to all
Pretty
the time.
much, yeah. She talks to you all the time.
But as soon as you see her, Marcus, they look at each other. They have a look. And I'm like, I didn't catch that the first time I saw it.
And then Cole is the football player. You caught on that, right?
Yeah.
Cole trade?
Blitzball? Not Blitzball.
It's football, but they call it something else.
Yeah. Anyways, he was a defensive tackle.
Got crazy CTE and then became a gear.
That's funny. All right, so I'm playing all the Battlefield games, right? Went through all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Started with 3. That game is shut down. I forgot.
Yep.
It's shut down. The servers are shut down on console, so the 360, PS3 era, even though it's backwards compatible. So I had to play the campaign. The campaign's pretty good. I fired up on PC, and I came across a bunch of hackers.
That makes sense.
Played it for about an hour. Then I got into Battlefield 4. I jumped on my Xbox, ran it with FPS boost, 120 frames, but it's still at 720p. It looks like a 360 game, but it's on Xbox One X, so
whatever.
It's a lot of fun. I'm still pretty good at the game.
I like Battlefield 4.
Then I played Star Wars Battlefront 2 because I was like,
oh yeah,
I was just going the line.
Wow, what a jump!
Played that. That game is still populated and played with absolute killers in that game.
Yeah, people enjoy that game. That game got a really bad rap at the very beginning, and rightfully so. But they turned it into a pretty fun video game.
Their game modes are really good, but man, the amount of heroes that you can unlock, I feel like you should just unlock a hero twice in the whole match, and if they die, they never come back.
Right. Yeah, they're all over the place. If you're playing like Conquest.
There was one time where I was doing really good, but I died like 15 or 16 times, and every single time I died was from Yoda showing up out of nowhere.
The fun one, if you can't, did you play Heroes versus Villains?
No, I wouldn't go near that.
That's a fun game mode. That one's so much fun. It's a hero shooter, but it's strictly like the only hero, like Luke.
You have
versus,
to team up though.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You
it's
can't
great.
go about things yourself.
No, unless you're like, I remember Palpatine being really annoying in that mode for whatever reason.
Dude, Yoda's annoying. Ugh.
And he's small too. Small hitbox.
Yeah, the small hitbox guys. It's like Odd Job and GoldenEye.
True, of course. Odd Job from is that the guy with the hat?
I don't know. Maybe he's a short guy.
I'm thinking of I remember the Asian guy in those movies with the hat.
Yeah, that's not Odd Job. That might be Odd Job.
I don't know.
All right, then I played Verdun. Great game.
Yeah. World War One. World War One.
I played Battlefield 1, and I was like, wow, this game is still really, really good. Doesn't feel like Battlefield. Feels more like Star Wars, Battlefront.
Yeah.
But it's still really, really good. And I was like, let's play a real World War One game. And I played Verdun. Fantastic. Out of all the Isanzo, Tannenberg World War One games made by the same guys, Verdun is really good. It has a PS5 version and an Xbox Series X version. It came out on the original PS4. Came out on PC years before that. It's an old game, but it still looks really good. And it plays completely unique. There is no other video game like that. It's cool.
Shut up, Verdun.
All right. Then Expeditions, which I think is a pretty good game, although I like SnowRunner better. It's more of a streamlined. That's
right. Yeah.
My gosh. Version of SnowRunner, but it's like you go from point A to point B and you mission accomplished. But it's still fun.
Simulators, man.
This one is more of an arcadey simulator.
I don't get where this like upcrop of people want to do jobs that they don't actually want to do in real life.
But it's a lot of fun.
It's so weird.
This one is less. This one's less jobby. Like the SnowRunner and MudRunner are like, hey, this building needs help. Go take the lumber to them. And you're like driving lumber.
But I'm thinking more.
This one is more like, can you go from here to there? It's very difficult.
I'm also thinking like just the full grand simulation genre really made a weird leap into, hey, power washing. How's that sound?
It's
do it in a video game.
It's farming simulator.
Lawnmower simulator. Yeah. Hey, you ever wanted to mow your lawn? Don't go outside and do it. Do it in a video game.
You can literally make your own business mowing lawns, doing the same thing you do in lawnmower simulator.
But people want to do it offline or out of real life and in a simulator. You know what? We're living in Wall-E.
Yeah, maybe.
We're there. It's awesome.
All right, and then I'm playing a really unique game called Wanted Dead.
Okay, I thought you were going to say the Wanted movie video game.
This is a single A.
Wanted
game.
Dead? Okay.
Wanted Dead.
Is it Wanted : Dead?
Yes.
Okay.
It's bad.
Stupid, man.
Not Wanted Dead, which would have been fine.
Yeah.
But : Dead.
I guess because that's what would be on the poster. Who cares?
This was made by guys who made the original, not the original, but the Xbox version of Ninja Gaiden. It feels very Ninja Gaiden. You play as a girl in a New York setting, I think, maybe Japan, I don't know, city setting. And you are with like a ragtag group of people and you fight bad guys. And you have a gun and a sword.
Sounds like every game.
So it's very gory. It's pretty cool. I actually like it. It's kind of janky, very janky.
Single A.
And it does things that are really cool and smooth, but it's not quite there. It's like a game that would have been really good if it just made it better, if it just was competent. But it was fun. It was on sale. I bought it and I'm playing it. I don't think I'm ever going to beat it, but it was fun playing it. Shout out to those Ninja Gaiden guys.
Did you ever play the Wanted movie video game?
Yeah, it was actually pretty good. The bending the bullets.
Yes, that game is awesome.
Yeah.
It's probably better than the movie.
That was the same developers that made the Bourne game, the Bourne Identity game, whatever that was.
There's a Bourne movie video game?
Yeah, there was.
What? I didn't know that.
It had almost the same mechanics and everything.
Wanted, better game than movie. Movie's stupid, but the game's actually not bad.
I've never seen that movie. I did play the video game.
They got
video game's okay. It's not great.
Yeah, I mean, but the movie's not good. That's the big difference. Yeah. All right, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for tuning in. I mean,
it's not short, but short notice.
Yeah, return time. But we're going to be recording on Mondays from now on, just because that's how the schedule works this time of year. We'll be back next week. We're going to talk all things NBA 2K curse. Not true. No, we're not going to talk about that.
I don't think that's ever had a curse.
The year before, the year Kevin Durant was on the cover, which was 2K14, 2K15, he went to Golden State. So it was a curse for me because he was on the Thunder and then he left.
That's right.
So,
and they won a title.
And then they won the championship. Who cares? All right. See you guys next week. Love you. Oh, remember to like, subscribe, follow, rate, do all those things, please. And tell your friends about us. We appreciate it.
Peace.